I started working when I was 13 years old just to be able to take care of my basic necessities. I was forced by the bankruptcy trustee to learn about money.
Money for the sake of is really important, and it's lacking with women, especially women of color.
Well, how could I know better when no one had taught me? I believe God will give you more when you're walking than he ever will if you stand still.
You'll make the same mistakes. Life will keep on coming and give you the same lessons if you don't learn it,
Right.
But you learned it. There is a frequency to people, and money's an energy. We can help elevate people's frequency.
If we are given a dream, it was actually placed in us by God because he's already made provision for us to realize the dream.
This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook, and I'm at the greatest stadium ever created, $5.5 billion, including a $1 billion screen, which is fitting for my next guest. She's an amazing Darnyelle Jervey Harmon. She is on a move. That's a move to millions. I think she's underestimating herself because I have gotten to know her, and she's on the move to billions. We're going to have to rename. There we go. Welcome to the Playbook, Dr. Darnyelle.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Well, after getting to know you, there's a certain frequency to people. Mm-hmm. And it's that flock that we have, that neighborhood. I always say our neighborhood is our frequency. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while I meet someone that doesn't look anything like me. That's good news for you. But from the immediate moment, I know I'm resonating. I'm on the same vibe as they are. We may have been brothers and sisters in a past life, maybe, or anything, but there is a frequency to people, and money's an energy, and we can help elevate people's frequency. What does that mean to you when we talk about frequency and relative to the move to millions?
Yeah, I believe that wealth is a vibe, right? It's a vibration. We are all energetic beings, and we're all vibrating constantly. And the good news is that we get to control the level with which we vibrate. The bad news is that most of us don't realize it. And so we are vibrating really low. Our frequency is low because we're trapped in fear. We're trapped in lack. I mean, as a country, as a society, we are born and bred in lack.
Scarcity.
And we don't even know it. We don't realize that that is the place that we're coming from, and it is what is inhibiting our ability to be able to experience more. Part of the reason why I'm so in love with Move to Millions, and I'm past millions. I am definitely on a trajectory to billions. The work that I do is really important because I think about the statistics for small business, right? 33 million small businesses in the United States, approximately 4.2% of that is actually doing 7 figures a year. And it gets even smaller when you cut into the subset of the population that is the largest amount of small businesses. Non-employer entities or solo enterprises make up approximately 90% of all those small businesses, and only 1.9% of them are making 7 figures. And when I think about your abundant birthright, that we were created in the image and likeness of God, and we came here as abundance to experience abundance, to give abundance, and to marinate in abundance. I look at these statistics and I'm just like, this burns my biscuits. It does not make me warm and excited that not enough of us are experiencing our businesses and our wealth in this way. We cannot create a financial legacy, right? Everyone watching this will see I'm a brown girl, right? I was born in the projects to drug addicted turned crack addicted parents. I'm the first millionaire in my family. And it was because after being financially illiterate, charging up $250,000 in credit card debt, and filing bankruptcy, I was forced by the bankruptcy trustee to learn about money. It was then that I realized that money was an energy, it's a frequency, and that I get to control the frequency that I vibrate on. And so today, a big part of my work is helping people to understand that it's not the strategy for the sake of how do I market, how do I sell, how do I build and position my brand. The strategy is recognizing the significance of alignment and embodiment so that we can vibrate higher and allow that energy to bring and accelerate everything that it is that we want. And so when I think about, the conversation that we have been having and understanding that this energy that we all get to control can really bring into our life experience whatever it is that we desire. Like, we just got to get the word out. More people need to know about it. And that's why I'm doing this work. And that's why we have the Move to Millions movement.
And in the Moves to Million movement is a key component or a philosophy that's relative to frequency and vibration. It's awareness. And it's something that I got tricked into. I met a woman who told me that everything vibrates just like you did, and that we could only be aware of that which vibrated equal to or less than us. And that through many different modalities, you can elevate your own frequency and vibration and be aware. And then she offered me a workshop to learn quantum healing and theta meditation. And I said, I was already a millionaire, so I'm like, I don't have time. And she said, oh, that's too bad, because I could teach you to be aware of when to buy or sell. And that's how I got hooked into meditation and the journey of learning about frequency, vibration, and energy. When you were exposed to, by the court system, a different awareness, was there any resistance or guilt or resentment? Because so many people get in their own way with guilt and resentment when it comes to money, that they go down, and life will, the lesson, you'll make the same mistakes. Life will keep on coming and give you the same lessons if
Until
you don't learn it.
Right.
But you learned it.
Absolutely. And so there was guilt and resentment, but not because of money for money's sake, because I was disappointed in myself. I should have known better, right? Like, I think we expect ourselves to have a possession of a knowledge that we haven't been given. Like, throughout all of my education from, primary to secondary, never was I taught about money. In my household, my father was a fully functional addict my entire life. He would literally go to work on Friday, come back, we'd see him after work on Monday. He would be getting high all weekend. He never lost a job. He never lost anything, but there was only money for his habits.
Yeah.
Everything else was the bare minimum. I started working when I was 13 years old just to be able to take care of my basic necessities. And I remember being 16 when my dad stole $7,500, everything that I owned to my name at 16, he stole it for his habit. And his response to me was, oh, you thought you were living here for free? Like, I asked to be born. Like, I asked for my mom to go to jail, right? Like, these are the things that my dad said to me. And I remember at that point in time having a very clear message about money being made, that, you know what, money is not for me, and money can be taken away from me whether I want it to or not. And that lesson, it ruminated all the way up to walking into the bankruptcy court proceeding, all the way up into there. The guilt and the resentment was, I should have known better. I wish I had it possessed, but how could I know better when no one had taught me? But that trustee, I don't know if he ever told any other person who filed bankruptcy after me that they needed to go and take a financial literacy course. I have no clue, but I know he told me, and it was a defining moment. In that class, one of the texts, this book changed my life, was A Happy Pocket Full of Money, which is all about the neuroscience and the physics behind the energy of money. And it illuminated so much, and it made so many things make sense that within 3 years, I was a bona fide millionaire. Right? I was running a company that was generating millions of dollars. Today I have an 8-figure net worth, and it was all because of that defining moment. So resentment, yes, because I should have known better, but gratitude because I learned what I didn't know, and it's made all the difference.
And it does, understanding the mindset that it takes, the money mindset, to move to the millions. You mentioned something interesting, because I have 3 daughters and a son, but I think the greatest inequity of the move to million that is a reality in America is that women, I wouldn't be here but for 2 powerful women, my mom and my wife.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And
I feel that.
I'm grateful. And because I've been blessed twice in my life, once I didn't know what I didn't know, the same as you, and lost over $100 million, went bankrupt. But the second time, I've elevated an understanding that money for the sake of is really important, and it's lacking with women, especially women of color. And so in my mission, I've created a fund, and I say this, the money is only for women and women of color, but I only take money from white male. And I've learned, I do. And I have a lot of rich white male friends. And I think it's very important, because if they have the intentions that they state they have, like I have the intention, then put your goddamn money where your mouth is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't just tell me, oh, I believe in equity. I learned, even my mom, in 1975, my dad left. My mom couldn't get credit because women could not get credit without a man. This is my lifetime. I'm old.
Right.
And I need to make changes. And how important is it to fund women-owned businesses, women of color-owned businesses? I think if this is a true statistic, please render this, 99% of all statistics are made up, but this one might be true. If you take out Stanford graduates, less than 1% of the people who get money, equity, are women and women of color.
Yeah, I think that is accurate.
You take out
based
Stanford.
On what, based on what I've heard. Right, yeah,
That's
based
great.
on what I've heard.
And if it's
crazy.
3%, who cares? 73% of the world is, people of color and women.
Right.
And they're getting less than 2 or 3%. You can't start a business without money.
You can't. And that's why the statistics, American Express put out a report a few years ago, the average black woman-owned business generates $24,000 a year. Who can live on $24,000 a year?
Yeah.
That is crazy, but that's what the statistics show, right? And even through my work, my clients are by and large women of color, and we have women making $24,000 in an hour.
Yeah.
Because we're teaching them not just the strategy, but the success mindset filter, how to raise their vibration, how to understand the significance and the acceleration of wealth and the money, the energy of money. And it's a piece of knowledge that we have to get out. And I'm grateful for all of the women that will be able to benefit from you putting this fund together, because it has to change.
It has to change. And here's another statistic. So of the women that get funded, statistically, it's exponential how much more successful they are with their money.
Oh, yeah.
The ones who do get money are more, so, forget color, forget sex, think green.
Yeah.
If you want to invest in something that makes more money, economically, statistically, it makes more sense to put your money into women, and especially women of color, because of the stories that you tell.
Absolutely.
And you see those every day. What are some of the characteristics, as I'm trying to elevate awareness to why we want to invest in women, and especially women of color, entrepreneurs, small business owners? What are some of the characteristics that we don't know as middle-aged mutant turtles, trying to understand, I have good intentions. I believe in equity. I believe in helping everybody. Okay, then put your money there.
Yeah.
What characteristics make those women so successful?
Yeah, it's resilience and determination by and large, right? When I think about the clients that we work with, they walk through the door, talented, mission-driven. They are the best of the best in their field. Black women are the most educated women in the world. We have multiple degrees because, by and large, we were taught by our families that the only way to get was to have more, right? I remember my dad telling me, probably at least twice a week, you have to work twice as hard to get a half as much, right?
And that was before he stole your money. Then after he stole your money, you got to work 3 times as hard.
Right, exactly, right. I mean, but
that was nice of you, Dad.
Oh yeah. I mean, but it's what I was taught. It was ingrained in me. We all know the story and the history of African Americans in this country, and what we came into, and how, in many ways, even though it's 2024, we are still experiencing many of those things. So that's the backdrop, that these women who are resilient, that are multifaceted, that are resourceful, are leveraging in order to get to a different place. And probably the most important characteristic is that their mindsets are pliable. They're willing to shed the beliefs that don't serve them and pick up the beliefs that will take them to where they know is possible for them. They dream really big. Some of them are still struggling to play big, because every time they've played big, they've been squashed, right? Also, again, think about, as a child, being taught consistently, you are to be seen but not heard. And so there are lots of Black women who are afraid to market. They're afraid to toot their own horn and to talk about how great they are, because that means that they're being boisterous, they're being, arrogant, right? They're being all of these things that are actually not. I mean, my definition of humility is having confidence enough to speak the truth about who you are, recognizing that confidence is actually a disposition of humility. So, but that's what we're up against. And so this resiliency, this determination, this tenacity, this big belief when you get one person that is willing to pour into you. Mentorship is so huge for women of color, because all we need is for one person to tell us that we can, for that to give us the courage to take the steps that we've wanted to take anyway. I don't know why. Well, maybe I do know why we feel like we need permission.
Yeah.
But that one person saying, give me your hand, let me give you a hand up, is permission enough for us to take the next step and to get what it is that we know we deserve to have, and are constantly working to continue to know that we deserve to have.
And as we finish up, I want to hit two more subjects. One is the common denominator, and I'm blessed to be around billionaires, millionaires, and entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, and entertainers. And I'm always looking for the common denominator, regardless of where they come from, what they look like.
Yeah.
And I found that the common denominator is the desire that you must be what you can be.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to bring that out, support that, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you've learned? Because you empower so many people with your program, with your movement, to bring out that desire, to let their light shine, that they must be what they can be.
Yeah, I believe that God doesn't give us dreams to taunt us. I think that if we are given a dream, it was actually placed in us by God, because he's already made provision for us to realize the dream. And so for me, the common denominator is giving them the permission and showing them a path, illuminating a path, even if it's just the first step. I believe God will give you more when you're walking than he ever will if you stand still. And so if I can give you the first step, you will get momentum enough to keep moving. And often that's what it is. Everyone that I know that has achieved something really significant, typically they came from very little. But even in that littleness, they were always a big thinker, a big dreamer, willing to defy the odds and to do that thing that most others aren't willing to do. The one thing about, and a lot of people call it being scrappy, when you don't have anything, you don't have anything to lose.
Right.
And so you're willing, you have more courage and confidence to take the steps, in the belief that if it could happen for one person, it's possible for you, right? And so just seeing that example is enough for a person that grew up with those big dreams just festering on the inside of them, to start taking steps, to start failing forward, recognizing that failure is feedback, and that it's just going to give them another opportunity to make an adjustment to get to where it is they want to be.
That is, or better.
Yeah.
And that's so true. And, liberating people to let their light shine is an extraordinary thing. And this desire that comes and is amplified by that. And in the humility, and I agree with you, there is a humility in the genius, the expression of God, the light, the love, the lessons that exist in us, and everyone should shine. That's a humble thing to do.
Yeah.
But there's a counterintuitive and counter-conflictual human trait that goes along with humility as well. And it's the biggest piece of advice that I try to inspire people with. And it's 3 words that I'm trying to get people, and I think women especially, and women of color especially, have difficult times with this. It's called ask for help.
Yeah.
That's one of the most humble things, no matter how successful
Right.
you can. The reason people say, how the hell did you lose over $100 million, bro? Like, that is ridiculous. You're far too smart. And how could that happen? I said, well, I'll tell you, I didn't ask for help.
Right.
I didn't find someone sitting in the situation I wanted to be in and asking for directions. The whole movement that you have, Move to Millions, all the things that you're doing is elevating an opportunity, an invitation, not an obligation, an invitation to tell everyone out there, please ask.
Absolutely.
Ask for help. What can we do to elevate that humility of saying everybody needs help?
Absolutely.
And the more you receive it, the more you'll give it. But how can we teach them these valuable 3 words, ask for help?
Yeah, it makes me think about something that I learned as a child. And I say often, a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yes.
Right? So I believe that the reason more people don't ask for help is because we are afraid that the answer is going to be no. But what we have to realize is that no really stands for next opportunity. And I don't believe that a person telling you no, it just means that they're not ready to experience transformation through being in connection with you. And let's think about this for a second, David. Like, do you really want to be connected to someone who doesn't want to be transformed because they're in your presence?
Right.
No, right? So if we take some of the pressure off of ourselves and recognize that a closed mouth doesn't get fed, we will allow people the opportunity like you who want to help, who don't know where to help, because there are so many people not asking for help. And so it's just as simple as putting it out there. The worst thing that could happen, let me say this in the camera so everybody hears me. The worst thing that could happen is that you stay where you are. But the best thing that could happen is that you elevate and put yourself in position to be able to reach back and grab somebody else to come along on the journey with you. So ask for help. There are so many people out in the world who want to offer you support, that have exactly what you need right now, that aren't mind readers and won't know that you need it unless you are willing to be confident, courageous, and comfortable enough to express the need that it is that you have. But you can't lose if you're willing to ask. So hopefully that helps.
I love it. I love next opportunity. And you can incorporate when you receive a no and open your mouth and ask for help. You can also maximize the opportunity in that next opportunity by saying, hey, I appreciate this isn't the right time. Number one, let me know when it is.
Yep.
And two, my famous question after I receive a no is, hey, this isn't the right time. Let me know when it is. But do you know anyone that can help me? So you can utilize that hub, especially
Absolutely.
today, where on average, when I was young, on average, most people like me had like 4 people they could refer you to. A church group, a golf group, whatever it was. My 9-year-old had 1,000 followers.
Right.
So if you're not asking, do you know someone that can help me?
Right.
And allow someone that really, it's just a matter of time that will help you. But now you're giving them an opportunity to help you by finding someone else to help you.
Absolutely.
It's that community of people which you have developed in your movement, the Move to Millions, a whole community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. Because in the mindset of money, if you build a community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other, there's 2 things that they'll do for you for life. They'll buy from you for life, and they'll sell for you for life.
Absolutely.
And nothing will make your money movement easier than a bunch of people that buy from you and sell for you for life. You are teaching, inspiring, and empowering so many people with your movement. Check out the Move to Millions movement. Check out my friend Darnyelle. You are amazing.
Thank you.
We are going to do so much more together, I promise. You have brought me to tears too many times. That's because I love elevating others to elevate others, and so do you. Thank you for joining me. This is David Meltzer at the greatest stadium with the greatest people.
Yes.
Here with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.